YouTubers, subscribers, and friends, welcome to my channel. Saw this gate over here. Thought I'd come over and take a look at it. Looks pretty cool. I like these wrought iron gates like this. So right before I came to do my hike today, I took Jerry out. I walked Jerry and Josie this morning. It's like almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. I took Jerry out to go to the restroom because I'm going to leave him at home. I don't want to bring him with me because there's too many snakes out and it's too hot right now. So took him in the backyard, and first thing I see in the backyard, I see Josie sitting on her little bed. Right between her paws is a king snake, and she was smelling it, and it's curled up, and I thought she had killed it. And so I yelled at her to leave it alone. She got up and moved, and I saw the snake moved. As you see in this small video here, and filmed it for a little bit with my phone, and then I picked it up and threw it over the wall. But I was telling Jerry that I don't want to take him because there's too many snakes out. Sure enough, I go in the backyard, there's a snake in my backyard. I'm just going for a little walk today on this road. Just get some exercise in. I want to see what it looks like over here. I've never been down this road before. So we talked to the realtor, actually 2 realtors. One guy just showed up at our house, and I thought it was the realtor that we were waiting on. And he was like, no, I was just driving by. He looked at the house. My wife showed him the house. And after about 25-30 minutes him looking at our house, he's like, I would suggest that you guys put in an air conditioning system, central air conditioning, and you probably sell the house. And I said, really, you think so? He goes, yeah. He goes, I could sell it for you. I said, I tell you what, you do me a favor, put that in writing, and then I'll have a central air conditioning system put in, and then you can sell our house. He's like, oh, no, I can't do that. So you can't do what? You can't sell our house? He's like, no, I can't put that in writing. I said, well, you just said if I put a central air conditioning system in, you can sell the house. Can you sell it or not? He's like, listen, I understand that real estate agents are up there on the list like lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. But he's like, you'll never get any any realtor put anything in writing for you. I was like, oh, okay. I was just curious because, you know, that's why my wife and I are trying to sell it ourselves, because everybody's telling us we need to do this, do that, and do this. And I just want to sell it as is. I really don't even want to sell it, but my wife wants to sell it, so I told her, let's try and sell it ourselves. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. We were supposed to have the other realtor show up at 2 o'clock. And this guy was just driving by. We have so many realtors calling us, though. They want to be the realtor to sell our house. But what happened was, this other realtor finally showed up. She was 25 minutes late. And when she came in the house, she didn't shake my hand. And she didn't smile the whole time she was there. She walked around our house just shaking her head. And I was looking at my wife, and I was pointing at her, and my wife been telling her to look how she's like got this smirk on her face, like ugh. And I was just like, why is she making that face for? And after about 20 minutes, I just told my wife, you know what, you show her the house. I don't want to, because I don't like the way she's just like looking at us. She hadn't said a word. She didn't explain why she was late. And she walked around after a while. I went out to mess around with the dogs. And And I came back in and she was talking to my wife on the couch. And I just sat down and listened to them talk. There's a lot of quail out here. And she was saying, in my opinion, the only way you're going to sell this house is you'll have to repaint the whole inside of the house. You have to remove the dresser and all this furniture. You need to change it. And I said, well, what do you mean we need to change it? This is our house. This is our furniture. And she's like, well, this is just my opinion. You know, I said, well, where are we supposed to put all this stuff, and what are we supposed to sit on? You know, because we live in this house. We have kids, we have animals, and we lived in this house. And then she got up and she went into the kitchen. She's like, all this stuff on the counter has to go. Those pans that are hanging, you need to remove them. You got too much clutter in your house. And I said, did you just hear me? I told you, we live here. Everything you're pointing at, we use every day on a daily basis. And she's like, well, that's just my opinion. If you don't remove all this stuff and replace it with nicer stuff. I'm like, what do you mean nicer stuff? There's nothing wrong with this stuff. My wife was just sitting there. I couldn't believe that she was just not saying anything. I'm not the type of person to sit there and keep my mouth shut, right? Especially when you start attacking my stuff, my home. She's like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a nice, cute little house. And it's just, in my opinion, this is what you need to do to sell this house. I said, so what else? So she got her hand and she like went like that on the wall, and she was like, yeah, definitely, you definitely need to. I'm not saying your house is dirty, but you definitely need to go through and detail this house. I said, so what? You expecting us to set it up like a model home or something? And she said, basically, yeah. I said, well, this isn't a model home, and I don't appreciate you insulting my house like this. And my wife was getting ready to sign some paper. I'm like, don't sign that. Don't sign that. And she's like, why? I said, what is that you're getting ready to sign? And the lady's like, oh, this is a 6-month contract. I said, wait a minute, hold on. I had to talk with my wife that, you know, we're going to sell the house ourselves, but she wanted to talk to some realtors, and if she found one that she liked, that we would sign a 3-month contract. And she's like, well, it's impossible for me to sell this house in 3 months. I said, what? She goes, yeah, because, you know, it takes longer to find someone to finance the house, you know, but I can't get anyone to finance your house unless you do all these changes. I said, hold on, wait a minute, back up. I never said anything about having our house financed. I told my wife, these are my terms. We do a 3-month contract, and we only sell it for cash only. I'm not interested in financing it to anyone or having someone finance the house, because I know I have to do all these changes, you know, because everybody keeps telling me I have to put a central air conditioning unit in my house, which, you know, 9 years I lived in the house. I've never needed a central air conditioning system. I have windows AC. And she's like, well, people can't get financed unless it has a central AC and heat set up in the house. I'm like, I know that. We've talked to a realtor before, and that's what she told us. So that's why we're going the cash only route. Man, it's hot out. Oh, I had to kick the lady out of my house. I didn't appreciate, you know, the way she was acting. What is this thing right here? I thought that was a bird sitting there. I think it's a tree stump or something. So she's like, I told her, you know, I'm gonna have to pass. Take your 6 months contract, and you're gonna have to leave now. And my wife just was giving me that look like, what are you doing? And she's like, may I ask why? I said, well, first of all, you have a very bad attitude, all right? Second of all, you're 25 minutes late. You didn't even bother calling to telling us you were going to be late. Alright? You didn't shake my hand when you showed up. You haven't given me a smile yet. You've been here for 45 minutes. You haven't said anything nice to us. And then she's like, well, Mr. Lee, I represent you. I said, no, you don't represent us because we're not like you. We don't have our nose up in the air stuck up. And my wife just looking at me because this is how I was talking because I was so angry. You know, I'm not going to have somebody like you representing us because in your mind, you don't like our house. So you're not really going to sell this with us in mind because you're giving me that look. Like you disgust look like you're even here. And she hasn't even been selling homes for very long. And I said, so I'm just going to have to ask you to leave. You know, she just got right up and she just walked out. She didn't say anything to my wife. She didn't say, I'm sorry you feel like that. She didn't say, please give me a chance. You know, I had a bad day. Nothing. She just got up and walked out. She didn't say thank you for your time. Absolutely nothing. And then about 15 minutes later, my wife gets a phone call, and it's her telling my wife, with your husband's attitude, you're never going to sell that house. This is why I don't like realtors. And this is what I had to talk with my wife afterwards. I'm like, listen. Plus, her realtor office was in the center of Tucson, which is so far that she's not going to want to come out here all the time to show her house. So, we're back to selling our house ourselves. Unless my wife can find a nicer realtor to sell our house. I just told my wife, here's my terms. You know I don't want to sell the house, alright? Because the kids still have 2 more years of school. I don't want to take them out of the school system, and you don't want to take them out of the school system. Why you want to sell the house right now, I have no idea. But I told you I'm willing to do it if we do it on these terms. The first guy that came before her was like, you know, if you put about $10,000 into remodeling your home, you could get even more money for your home and it would sell even quicker. And then I told that guy, I said, listen, if I put $10,000 into remodeling my home, I'm staying. I'm not selling it. Because I know what my home is worth. You know, because we live in a town that 90% of the roads in the town where these homes are at are all on dirt roads, and a lot of them are really, really bad shape, and some of them you need 4-wheel drives just to get down them and get to your home, especially monsoon season when it rains and they flood out. It's like crazy. We live right off the main paved road. Very short dirt driveway to drive down. You know, so I know what I have. And I have been slowly working on my house. I built a tiny house, I built a block wall, I cleared the property. I've been doing stuff in the house. I just recently fixed the kitchen floor for the 4th time. And I told my wife, look, I take my time doing these projects because we live here. It's really hard to have to move all this stuff around to fix something or repair something, you know. So I don't need somebody coming in and telling me if you did this. I know what I need to do, right? I don't want to sell the house. But because you want to and I want to make you happy, I told you, okay, let's do it like this on my terms. And if it sells, it sells. And if it doesn't, you know, and then it wasn't meant for us to sell. So my wife is like, you know, you're right. But I can't believe the way you talked to that lady. I said, you can't believe the way I talked to that lady. Did you see the way she was acting and talking about our house like it was garbage? I'm not going to sit here and stand by and let someone say that in front of us. You know, if you don't like what you see and you don't think you can sell it as is, then what are you wasting our time for? You know, first of all, you're late. You know, now what if we have somebody who's interested in the house and they want to buy our house and they're waiting around for her to show up and she doesn't bother calling and saying, oh, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be 10 minutes late, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. That client's going to get pissed off and leave. You know, I'm so tired of these realtors that are so lazy to do the job. You know, I think this is what I told my wife. I think She only was trying to get us into a 6-month contract so she could go back to her office and tell her boss, look, I'm getting contracts, I'm getting people, I'm getting clients. She had no intentions whatsoever to really represent us and sell our home, you know, for us. I don't work for the realtor. The realtors, they work for us, right? You know, I know what I have to do in my house. It's not a brand new house, but I have so much in my house that's worth money. I have an acre property. It's paid for. I don't own anything on this house. You know, I have no loans on it, no liens. My property is zoned for horses. It's zoned for, I could put another trailer on my property. It's zoned for RV parking. It's emission-free area, because in Arizona and Tucson you have to have your cars go through emission, but where we live, you don't. The law does not require it where we live. So that's one of the reasons why I bought that property, because I think it's ridiculous that I have to pay more money to register my car because of stupid emissions. Don't have that in Florida. So I know what I have, and especially as fast as the area where we live is growing, it's growing really, really fast. I told my wife, just hang in there. Just 2 more years and the kids get out of school and we can move anywhere you want. We don't even have to live in Tucson. We can sell, we can go wherever you want. You know, just give me that. And she was like, all right, well, what if I find a realtor that lives in the town that we live in and is willing to work with us and do what you want to do, like cash and then 3 months? I said, well, fine. But they better come to my house. They better greet me with a smile and a handshake. Otherwise, I'll throw them out too. You know, I'm not a mean, nasty guy, but this woman, oh my God, she was a high maintenance pain in the butt, man. She said I had an attitude. She had an attitude from the get-go, right? First of all, one thing that really pisses me off is don't tell me you're going to meet me at a certain time and then don't show up and don't call. That right there pisses me off. I don't do that to people, and I can't stand it when somebody does that to me. Right? Especially if you're a real. She has no clue. What if I had some $1 million contract that I had to show up at a certain time, but I couldn't do it because I was waiting on her, not even knowing if she was even going to show up. You know. That's just, I'm just ranting today, but that's how I feel about these realtor agents. You know, they are, just like that one realtor guy said, they're on the list up there with doctors and lawyers. They're just as crooked and just as dishonest. They don't care about you as the client. All they care about is making that commission. It is hot. That's going to be my video today. I'm ranting, and maybe next week will be better. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Remember, smash that button down in the corner. Don't cost you anything. It's free. And like I always say, be kind to people. Treat them the way you want to be treated. If they treat you like crap, you know, there you have it, right? Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. I'm gone.